So our topic today is how do you use one curriculum for all those grade levels? We advertise Let's Go Geography as grades K through 5, and yes, I do use it for grades K through 5, and I want to show you how I do it. So I have a typical lesson pulled up on a computer. I also have things in hard copy so I can easily access those two, and we're going to go through it real quick and show you how it works and show you what you do for the different grades. So here we have a front cover of Spain, and as you get into the lesson you have some preliminary pages, and you start with a general fact page of the continent, the capital and largest city and that kind of thing. You probably skip that for kindergartners, first grade, and go over that for some of the older grades, just to get yourself going. You're going to start with maps, as all good geography curriculums will do. They will start with maps, and everybody does the map. So basically, let me back up. Before I talk about maps, we do make travel journals, the kids do, in geography, and this holds everything they do for the year. And in years 2 and 3, they make these continent dividers. So you've got one for each continent, North America, South America, Europe, and how it works is you color the continent on that divider, and you color everything the same color as this page right here, and then you color the animal whatever color you want. And so you've got something to keep everything organized for the year. So we're going to start with maps. This map would have been one that we did at the beginning of the year when we talked about continents. We colored each of the continent a different color as we talked about them and as we created these continent dividers. But in a typical lesson, this would be a map done for Africa. And notice how all the countries that we had talked about so far in Africa have been colored. Now a kindergartner would color those countries and maybe stop. The other grades, there are discussion questions. This is an old computer that I don't usually use. So there's discussion questions about the map in the lesson, and you might use those for an older child. So then you're done with maps. An older child might discuss like the seas surrounding the country you're talking about, the neighboring countries, the oceans, typical things like that, and you're guided in the lesson as how to carry on that conversation. So the next thing you're going to do is flags. So you see in the lesson you have a flag page. I don't know if you can see that. And you're given flags, and the kids are to color those flags. So this one is the flag for Mongolia, and they can kind of see that there is blue right here and there is red right here, and that's what they need to color. And younger kids use crayons, older kids use colored pencils, something like that. Now the difference now is where they put them. So the younger kids, they have passports, and they look like this, and inside there's a different page for every continent, and on that page you can kind of see the continent laid out like that. And here is a page on Europe that this child has filled in with the flags on Europe for that year. And in my co-op class, of course, we do this every week, and they don't take these home until the end of the year, and they were so excited to take them home when they do get to do that. Now, an older child typically is not going to have a passport. They're a little bit too advanced for that. So in the curriculum, you have this page called Flags of, and then whatever continent you're on. Now some have asked me, well, how much do you have to print out for every lesson? Now keep in mind, you would print out those flags, and you would print out the map for the continent. So that would last you for all the countries on that continent. So it would last you several weeks. Same with this page for maps. It is flags of Europe. So you're going to use this map for every country that we do in Europe. In this particular year, you had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So when they put their flags on the designated spot, then they have to find that country on this blank map. And you could have them label things as well too. So the flag activity is just reinforcement of everything they learned in the maps. So the next thing we do in the curriculum is music. I don't know if you can see this. I'm not going to play anything. There's a couple links here. Typically it's a national anthem and a song. This particular lesson is for Spain, and we are watching the Fandango and listening to music on that one. And then the next page is also something you might skip for kindergartners, first graders, something like that. But this is just important little tidbits of information. Like I say, this is Spain, so we talk about Gibraltar, we talk about the Canary Islands, we talk about soccer, We talk about their king and queen and the Pyrenees Mountains. So little tidbits of information just to get you going. You don't stay there a long time because we want to keep them engaged. And to keep them engaged, the next couple pages, if you can see here, and then I've got samples here, are pictures of the country. Interesting things about the country in this lesson on Spain. You've got the Alhambra, you've got Barcelona, you've got the windmills because of Don Quixote, and you've got other things. And so I pulled up some pictures from a lesson on Australia, no, it was New Zealand, just to give you an idea. So you go through those with both ages, and then you come to the real heart of what's really fun and what the kids really enjoy. And that's these video clips. And that's why this curriculum is not hard copy curriculum, because you're going to have typically more video clips than you probably can use in a classroom setting. They typically run 3 or 4 minutes, and each of them has a theme. So in Spain, for instance, you're going to tour Spain, going to tour Madrid and Barcelona. You're going to find out about the King of Spain, a little clip about that. A clip about the running of the bulls, if you know what that is. It's very interesting. The Basque country, and growing olives, which is also very interesting. So a lot of fun things that the kids are really amazed by, actually, because even like, okay, growing olives, we don't do that where I live, okay? It's just nothing we've ever heard of. So all of this is very, very new, usually. You might, some of the countries, it's a little difficult to get child-appropriate videos. So they might have maybe 3 or 4, but typically you've got a good selection of videos. Now, this is where the K through 2 would stop and do their coloring and do their crafts, which I will get to. But the 3 through 5, the grades 3 through 5, here's a page, and I don't think you can see it quite clearly, but this is a read about it page and a write about it page. So on the read about it, they are given a link to an internet source where they can read more, a child-appropriate link. But I have also been really surprised in my co-op. Grades 3 through 5, they are allowed to search on the internet, and they love it. And they like coming to class with information that maybe nobody else has. So I'm pretty surprised by that, because I thought parents would be a little bit more, you know, you only go to this site and this site, and they were able to really do that. So they can write about this in their own words. Now, the curriculum does give a generalized writing page, and that's okay. But for grades 3 through 5, we provide what we call the Discovery Pack. And the Discovery Pack has 2 pages of decorated notebooking page for each of these countries. So I think I've got year 1 in my hand, and this would be Iceland, page 1, and Iceland, page 2. Now, I have used just page 1 for a 2nd grader because of siblings. She wanted to do what the siblings were doing. And page 1 is pretty straightforward and fairly easy. Surrounding oceans, continent, capital, languages, currency, land area. It usually stops there. This one has animals, just probably for lack of space. So she did that, and she enjoyed that. For grades 3 through 5, they have another sheet, and this includes culture, a nickname. All of this is based on what was in the lesson, what videos they watched, what pictures they saw, and what facts were included in the lesson. And then Fun Facts pulls in things that maybe don't go under these titles, and all of these pages are different. Every page does not have the same like nickname or culture or anything like that. They would have different, like this one has, let's see if I can pull up this one. This one has food and culture, landmarks and unique sites and fun facts, and stops there. And this is Norway, I believe. So that is the biggie with them. Now, we also refer to this atlas. The reason being is when all of this curriculum was originally put together, this was the only atlas that really went into detail country by country. So it is an older atlas. I think it's like a 2007, 6, something like that, publication date, but the curriculum does refer to it, and honestly, I still do use it. I think it's pretty, I really like just the intellectual quality of the information that they cover. Since that, just recently, the same publisher, DK Publishing, has put out Countries of the World, which is very similar. I just feel like it's just not as academic, but it's very fun. So in my co-op classes, I let kids choose. I let parents choose which one you want. And then after we do the lesson in class, they are supposed to do this at home. Now at home, you would do all of it at home. So they would read, they would review their lesson, and they would fill out their discovery pack. The discovery pack also comes with a glossary, so they do a new word every week that is assigned, and they fill in the word, they draw a picture of it, they include a definition, and they give a real world example. So if you were doing an island, say, you could choose maybe the Hawaiian Islands, whatever. And the kids, since I'm doing a co-op class, they all like to come in and share what their real world example is, because theirs might be different than everybody else's. So that's really fun for them. And it has a little title page that they can put in their binders. And if you have a discovery pack and you don't have this page, that's because I just made it. It will go in the next couple of weeks, and I will let you know that it's there. Like I say, I use this curriculum in a co-op, and every now and then I'm thinking, you know what, we need this, and I just add it. But that brings me back to the little kids. So that's what the older kids do when they're done, unless they really want to do the craft, and some of them do, honestly. But the little kids, they go on to coloring. I just brought some samples. This is the Zulu tribe in South Africa. This is Tanzania and the jewelry they wear. This is the American Mountain West. This is Sweden. This is coloring page for Sweden. So they might do that. Oh, and here's Libya and the Sahara Desert coloring pages. The craft, then, there's detailed instructions on the craft. Don't know if you can see that, pictures on how to put things together. I brought a few just to show you. For instance, on Mongolia, you would print these out on white paper, and your child would create a yurt. So the good news is a lot of these crafts are simply print this out on colored paper, do something to it, glue it together, and there you have it. A lot of them are like that, so they're not too difficult. Here's one for Thailand we did on the elephant, because that's really an important part of their culture. This is for Singapore, because they do that dragon boat racing, just like a lot of other Asian countries. And this one is the one we did for the beehive hut in Eswatini. If you don't know what Eswatini is, that's because Swaziland recently changed its name. So we've got the little person, and we've got the little beehive hut, and all of that is made out of paper. So I went pretty fast. I hope you were able to keep up. I'd love to hear your comments or any questions. Please feel free to add those below. And that's all for now. See you later.